Hello guys, welcome back. My name is Nathan and today I'm going to be discussing which NHL team needs Alexis Lafreniere the most. Now, Alexis Lafreniere is the top prospect right now in the 2020 NHL draft, and there's a lot of NHL teams right now that need that extra scoring winger who can make an impact as soon as next season. But which teams do I see needing Alexis Lafreniere the most, and who do I see winning the Alexis Lafreniere sweepstakes this year? Watch till the end for all my predictions and picks, and of course, subscribe if you're new. Now, Alexis Lafreniere, the way he's playing is not just proving himself as the first overall pick, but proving himself as one of the best prospects, really, of all time. Especially when it comes to Canadian prospects, Alexis Lafreniere has been dominant so far this season in the QMJHL, and with his amazing MVP World Juniors performance. He's a guy that will go first overall, and that too many teams, pretty much every NHL team, wants to have on their team right now. He can be a guy that can play in the NHL as soon as next season, and be very, very good at age 18. Now, I did this video idea about a year ago a couple of times in the 2019 draft with Jack Hughes and Capo Caco, so I thought, hey, we might as well continue the tradition and do it for the 2020 draft for Alexis Lafreniere and any other prospects you guys want to see me do this for too. But how today's video is going to work is that I have three different tiers. The number one tier is need Lafreniere, the second tier is badly want, and the third tier is really want. We're going to go through tier 3 to tier 1. I've chosen 12 teams, and I've put them all in different tiers on really want to need Alexis Lafreniere. But getting us started here today, we're first going to start out to tier 3 and of course work our way up to tier 1. For my first team in the really want category, the tier 3, I have the New York Rangers. Now the Rangers are pretty interesting, right now sitting at 21-18-4 record, good for 21st in the NHL. Not fantastic, but they're still a pretty solid team. They're still a ways out from the wild card, so they likely won't make the playoffs, but they're a team that likely will be in that 12 to 14 pick area. But for me, a team like New York, I think would really want to have Lafreniere, but I don't think that's where their priorities are. I think a guy like Quinton Byfield will be a much better fit for them when you already have Kakko and Kraviteh there. Having Quinton Byfield to possibly center that line would be freaking nasty. Now, going on to my second team in tier 3 and my second team in the really want tier, I'm going to go with the Minnesota Wild. Now, Minnesota is fascinating. Right now, sitting at 22nd in the league, New York being 21st. That's a team that also will likely end up missing the playoffs, but still not being the worst. But for a team like Minnesota, I think their priorities are getting that next generation center. Like, sure, if they get the first overall pick, I still think they do pick Alexis Lafreniere, but a guy like Quinton Byfield, a Tim Stützle, and Anton Lundell, I think would go a long way for them. They already have some great wing guys like Kevin Fiala who will lead that wing group, but they don't really have that next generation center besides Jordan Greenway. And I'm sorry, Greenway, no offense, I don't think you're going to be as good as Quinton Byfield. I'm just saying. But that'll be the last of tier 3. Minnesota and New York staying in tier 3. And now on to tier 2. The teams that badly want Alexis Lafreniere. And for my first team in tier 2, I'm going to go with the Buffalo Sabres. Now the Sabres are over 500 technically, a 19-18-7 record, but they're actually 23rd in the league. So New York, Minnesota, Buffalo, I did not plan on that, by the way. But for the Buffalo Sabres, they're a team that I think could really use him. After selecting Dylan Cousins in last year's draft, a big-time center that could play wing, I think a guy like Alexis Lafreniere will be that bona fide wing that just imagining him alongside Jack Eichel is just way too good to be true. I mean, I think for Buffalo, that's a team that I think just wants everything at this point. They're a team that if they get Alexis Lafreniere would just be way too stacked. But man, just him with Jack Eichel, man. I'm not a Sabres guy, but I would love to see that. But going on to my second team in tier 2, the badly want tier. On to the next team, I have the Columbus Blue Jackets. Now the Blue Jackets right now sitting at 19th in the league with a 21-16-8 record. Not bad whatsoever, and they've been especially hot as of recently. But for a team like Columbus, they badly need a superstar prospect. And if there's any draft that they should be tanking it should be this one, but they are doing them, and I guess it's working out for them so far. But for a team like them, I think Alexis Lafreniere will be perfect. Yes, maybe you'd want another center on that team, but you already have Pierre-Luc Dubois, who's likely going to be the first line guy there. But any guy like Alexis Lafreniere, who has so much talent, so much skill, is a guy who I think they could definitely use. But going on to my third team in tier 2, the badly want tier, I'm going to go with the Chicago Blackhawks. Now the Blackhawks were a really tough one to place in this because you can make a case for tier 3, they already have some solid offensive options, which I do agree with, or you can make a case for tier 1 because the Blackhawks just need everything at this point, which I also agree with. But for Chicago, they're a team that I think is placing in the middle. Sure, you have guys like DeBrincat and Strome who are good now and will be great for the future, but I think for Chicago to really become a fantastic team again, they're going to need another top pick in this draft, like number 3 with Kirby Dach. And a guy like Lafreniere would seriously help that. I think in a perfect world, you get Alexis Lafreniere and maybe another top pick to get a guy like Jamie Drysdale. I think they do need defense, but Alexis Lafreniere is still a guy that would help them a ton, and especially for their future core, would be a main part of that team. But now moving on to my 4th team in Tier 2, the badly won Alexis Lafreniere tier. This one's just sad. I have the San Jose Sharks. They don't have their first round pick. It's to the Ottawa Senators, and yeah, I mean, I like the Sharks, but yeah, they have zero chance at Alexis Lafreniere because they traded their pick to Ottawa. But that doesn't negate the fact that they really need Alexis Lafreniere right now. Like, oh my goodness. Like, I would prefer some defense and goaltending first, but just anything at this point. Like, please, hockey gods, I'm praying. I need something. But I won't get it this year because I can't have good things. But now going on to a team that actually has their first round pick, and I'm still sad about the Sharks, that being the Anaheim Ducks, placing in Tier 2 the badly want tier. Now Anaheim, I think, is a team that will be very interesting with Lafreniere. Right now they sit at 4th last in the league, 39 points in 44 games. That's a team after selecting Trevor Zegras and having other centers like Sam Steele, I think would love to have this generational almost winger that I think Alexis Lafreniere could be for them. But that's a team that I think could really use him, especially on that offense. When you have those two guys coming up, that's a team that in the past has not been all that exciting offensively, but adding Alexis Lafreniere and Trevor Zegras just like that would make them a pretty fun team. And now going on to my 6th and final team in Tier 2, the badly want tier, I have the Los Angeles Kings. Now the LA Kings were so close to the need category, you guys don't even know. But to me there's one reason why they aren't there, because they don't need him necessarily to have a great future. Right now LA has one of the best prospect pools in the NHL without him, led by guys like Alex Turcotte, Vegamo, and Kaliyev. Would Lafreniere help that team? Obviously they would, but I think for a team like LA, they don't need him to have a strong future because they already do right now. But still, even with that said, Lafreniere will be friggin' awesome on LA. Imagining him with Alex Turcotte just makes me way too excited, and I'm not even a Kings fan. I've never liked the Kings, but that still sounds pretty freaking awesome. But now getting into the cream of the crop, the first team in Tier 1, the need Alexis Lafreniere tier. And this team I don't think on paper needs Alexis Lafreniere, but they're basically playing like they do, that being the Montreal Canadiens. Now they've lost 8 straight games twice this season. Right now they're in the middle of the second 8-game losing streak. It's fair to say that Montreal, the way they're playing, is kind of wanting to have Alexis Lafreniere at this point. They're 26th in the league with an 18-27 record. Right now, again, lost 8 straight. But the draft is in Montreal. Lafreniere is a Quebec boy. I'm just saying, it makes way too much sense. The whole team is banded together. They're in the full tank mode, boys. Get ready or get out. Now, speaking of full tank mode, we're now going to get into my 3rd team that needs Alexis Lafreniere, that being the New Jersey Devils. Now, the Devils aren't tanking as bad as they were to start out this season, but they're still 2nd last in the league. I mean, they have 37 points, tied with the Ottawa Senators through 43 games, so they aren't the worst in the league. I guess that's a medal that we should give them at this point, because Detroit obviously takes that cake. But for a team like New Jersey, I mean, they need everything at this point. Offense, defense, goaltending, a power play, a penalty kill, players that are NHL players. They need them all at this point, and I think Alexis Lafreniere can fill some of those holes. Yes, another 1st overall pick won't fix them completely. Jack Hughes didn't, Nico Hischier didn't, but I think for a guy like Alexis Lafreniere, New Jersey will be a pretty solid fit, and just him alongside Nico or Jack Hughes would be pretty cool to see. I mean, come on, that should be awesome. And now on to the 3rd team that needs Alexis Lafreniere. This one a lot more so than New Jersey or Montreal, that being the Ottawa Senators. Now the Senators, again, tied for New Jersey for 2nd last in the NHL, 37 points in 43 games. To me, if there's any team that has the best chance and needs him the most right now, I mean, Alexis Lafreniere going to the Ottawa Senators would not surprise me. They have the Ottawa pick, obviously, and they had the San Jose pick. 2 excellent chances at getting Lafreniere on draft day. But for a team like Ottawa, they already have Brady Tkachuk on that left wing, which is a little bit of a problem, but still, Alexis Lafreniere will be awesome for them. Even if he ends up going there, I still think they need a lot of help, obviously, getting to that next level, and they already have a lot of wing prospects too. But right now, the Sens, I think, would be a solid fit for him, and I think it just makes way too much sense. They might end up ruining him. I don't even know what's going to happen, but Alexis Lafreniere on the Sens is probably the most likely thing to happen at this point with the 2 first-round picks they have. But now getting into the moment you all have been waiting for. The team that I think needs Alexis Lafreniere the most in this one, the final team in Tier 1, it's the Detroit Red Wings. I mean, I could go on saying the Senators, the Canadiens, the Devils really need him, but there's really one team that needs him right now, makes the most sense for him, and is likely going to get the first overall pick, that being the Detroit Red Wings. Again, when you factor in everything here, not really too many options on the left side, already having Dylan Larkin on that center core. Alexis Lafreniere is just what Detroit needs at this point. They're so freaking bad. 11 wins, 30 losses, and 3 overtime losses. I can't say anything about Detroit that hasn't been said. They are a very, very bad team, and while Lafreniere might not be the savior, he might not save everything, he would sure help a lot about what's wrong. They're boring, they're bad, and Alexis Lafreniere is the opposite of that. But no matter where Lafreniere ends up going on draft day, getting selected first overall, he will help the team a ton, and right out of the gate too. This won't be a Jack Hughes situation where there's a little bit of concern, maybe he's not NHL ready. Alexis Lafreniere will be a surefire bet to make the NHL and dominate in year 1. He might be the leading candidate for the Calder Trophy, and I don't think that's very unrealistic whatsoever. Wherever he ends up going to will change the franchise. For instance, if it's LA, if it's the Ottawa Senators, he will change that franchise for the better. And I just hope whoever ends up getting him treats him well, because he friggin' deserves it. He is elite, he will be elite in the NHL someday, and will be one of the NHL's best players. But with today and my picks involved, I need to hear y'all's thoughts down in those comments down below. Let me know what you think about my tiers, where I place the teams, what you agree and disagree with, and of course the question on to you. Which NHL teams do you think need Alexis Lafreniere the most? But if y'all want some more Grav videos just like this one, I would suggest you click on this playlist right here to watch all of my 2020 NHL Draft playlist, with everything, all the videos involved, right in one place. But that'll be it for today, guys. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell if you haven't already. Comment down below your thoughts on my picks, what you agree and disagree with, who you think needs Lafreniere the most. Share this video with your friends, get the word out there about Alexis Lafreniere and this video as well, boys. Trying to get to 11K subs at this point. My name is Nathan, and I'll see y'all next video or stream. Goodbye.